Hello everyone. Today we're going to be learning about how to get ready for a difficult conversation. This is a skill streaming lesson today, and this is a skill that emphasizes mental preparation and foresight. So what you do is you think about how you're going to feel and how the other person's going to feel and what you or the other person might do or say during the conversation. And by considering these factors, people can have a more successful communication when trying to have difficult conversations by following these steps. And I have these steps up here. And number one is to think about how you will feel during the conversation. Think about how the other person will feel. Think about different ways you could say what you want to say. Think about what the other person might say back to you. Think about any other things that might happen during the conversation. And choose the best approach you can think of and try it. But before we go through these steps, I want to go over the rules. First, everyone's going to be respectful because we're going to be kind of vulnerable here. And we're going to protect confidentiality because we might be talking about some things that other people don't want, that you might not want other people to know. And thirdly, if you all could be willing participants, that'd be great because we're going to be practicing using these skills. So first, I'm going to model the skill for you so that you know what to do. So I'm going to be role-playing, talking to my dad about a family reunion that we had planned for a long time. But now I can't go because of my midterms and my pep band responsibilities. So if I could have Brennan come up, he's going to role play being my dad. I'm away at college. We've had this event planned for weeks, but I have to tell him that I can't go because it's right in the middle of my midterms. So I'm just going to go through these steps out loud and decide the best way. So I'm going to think about how I would feel during the conversation. I will feel probably nervous and anxious because he's probably going to, not be happy. And the other person will feel probably angry, probably disappointed, probably sad. And number three, think about different ways you could say what you want to say. I could just say, Dad, I'm really sorry, but I just can't go. If you could let the other relatives know, I'd really appreciate it. That's probably not well enough said. I'm probably going to say something more like, Dad, I know you've been playing this for a long time. I was really looking forward to it, but with my pep band schedule and my midterms on Monday and Tuesday, there's just no way that I can study for my midterms and go to the reunion. And number four, think about what the other person might say back to you. They'll probably say back to me, why didn't you think about this before? Why didn't you tell me way before in advance? Couldn't you think of something else, like another time to do your midterms? Number five, think about any other things that might happen during the conversation. We might both lose our tempers. He might, maybe tell everyone about me in an insensitive way that I can't go. And number six, I'm going to choose the best approach I can think of, and I'm going to try it. So this is going to be the actual role play now. So, Dad, I know you've had that family reunion planned for a long time, but it turns out that my midterms are on Monday and Tuesday, and Monday night I have a pep band responsibility I have to go to for a game, and Sunday night is a reunion. So there's really no way for me to be able to study for all those midterms and go to the reunion. I'm really sorry. I hope you'll understand.
So how come you weren't able to tell me this earlier or know about this ahead of time so we could skip pep band or something?
Well, the pep band game was scheduled after I knew my midterm schedule.
So basically you couldn't skip the pep band for the reunion or anything?
Right, it's mandatory, I have to be there.
Oh, okay. And you didn't know this until when, like this week or something?
Basically, yeah.
Okay, well that's unfortunate. I guess all of your cousins and family members that came from a long way will probably be disappointed. You think there's anything you do to, like, I don't know, at least tell them, talk to them while you're there, or tell them you miss seeing them? Or I can just tell them for you, I guess.
I guess I could just like call them during the reunion, or tell them beforehand that I won't be there, and tell them why.
Well, I guess since we can't really prevent you having to go to pet band, that's the best thing to do, so.
Thank you. So that was me modeling how to do this role play. So if you all could, we're all young adults here, and I know a lot of us have to endure hard conversations. For some, it could be about school, work, or relationships. So that's why we're here, to learn how to have these difficult conversations. So if you all could come up with an example of a hard conversation that you have had, or that you're going to have maybe in the near future, if you could share those, that'd be great.
Mine would be moving far away from my parents, having a conversation with them about doing that. 'Cause I
Okay.
enjoy that.
So moving away from your parents, all right.
Mine would be having to tell my boss that I would like to quit my job.
Okay, telling your boss you have to quit your job, that's a good one.
Telling a coworker that you don't want to deal with them anymore.
Okay, telling a coworker you don't want to deal with them anymore. Okay, that's a hard one. So now I'm gonna give you guys a chance to role play this. So Shannon, why don't we do yours? And Trevor, why don't you pretend to be Shannon's boss, and she's gonna tell you that she doesn't want to work there anymore. And Brennan and I will give feedback on their role play. So.
Okay, well, first, step one would be to think about how you would feel during the conversation. Obviously, I'll feel very anxious and nervous and very stressed. Second step would be think about how the other person will feel. Probably all of the same things that I mentioned, but he might be angry about it. Think about different ways you could say what you want to say. I could be very blunt and just say, I want to quit, or I can ease into it saying, you know, I know that I've worked here a long time, but I feel like it's time for me to move on and pursue a different career. The fourth step, think about what the other person might say back to you. He might say, you know, well, why do you want to leave? What can we do to make it better? Is there anything that we can change about your job so that you'll stay? Number 5 would be think about other things that might happen during the conversation. We could both get it could get heated, we could both get angry because it's a sensitive subject. And then choose the best approach you can think of and try it. I think the best approach would be to go to his office and sit down and have a face-to-face conversation and just be as quick as painless as possible. So, okay. Here we go. I'm really sorry to have to tell you this, but I would like to put in my 2 weeks notice.
What makes you decide to do that?
Well, I've been thinking about it for a long time, and I really would like to pursue a different career, so I feel like this is something that I have to do.
Well, that's a shame. Is there anything we can do to get you to stay?
I really don't think so. I mean, the pay is really good here, and I like working here, but I just don't feel like it's the right path for me.
There's nothing we can do to make it fit more what you want to do?
I don't see it being able to.
Well, that makes me a little bit sad. It kind of puts us in a tight spot as far as staff. Are you sure you don't want to rethink this at all?
I've been thinking about it for quite some time now, and I really don't think that I would like to stay here. I really think it would make me happier and just to move on.
Well, we can't really ask you to do something that you're not happy doing. So I see you put a lot of thought into this. I'm glad you decided to tell me face to face. I respect your decision and wish you luck.
So do you want to give feedback on like 1 through 3?
Okay. Think about how you feel during the conversation. You covered how you feel. Probably anxious and nervous, so you pretty much knew that. And then the other person would feel angry, possibly. No, he wasn't really too angry about it. And then 3, think about different ways to say what you want to say. I think you said you could say it different ways or something like that. So yeah, you thought about those 3. For sure.
I'd say you did good on steps 4 through 6. The only thing, I think maybe you thought of ways of things that he might have said, but I think he threw a lot at you that maybe you didn't think of, but maybe just some more contemplation beforehand would have helped you out. But overall, you did a very good job. Thank you. Can take a seat. So this has been our first lesson on getting ready for a difficult conversation. And we all just, next time you have a difficult conversation, just think about these steps and tell us about it and tell us if it works. So thank you so much. We'll see you next week.